If you're one of my subscribers or returning viewers, you know I love wildlife. And it's snowy and cold and everything is hungry. Some of my bird feeders are empty, so it's time to refill them. And I made up some more nectar for the hummingbirds because it was covered in snow. So it's time to replenish their food supply. They are a little bit dependent on us now, so now it's kind of a thing that has to happen, almost like pets, backyard pets, natural pets. I think that's okay to do because we live in a city and everything is covered in pavement. We've gotten rid of so much of the wild resources. So I feel like the next best thing to planting, obviously planting habitat and planting their food supply is better, leaving some wild spaces and then supplementing it a little bit. One of the nice things about supplementing it a little bit is they still remember how to forage for food, and they don't become completely dependent on us. If you feed them too much, too often, and they don't have to search for food, then it's almost like they're becoming domesticated. And then you can't go on holiday, you can't go on vacation, you can't leave. You have to always make sure that they're fed. So giving them a little bit as a treat now and again is great, not making them overly reliant on us. It's way better to plant their food and leave wild spaces for them to forage on their own, but a little bit of supplement is sure nice. To me, this is so much more beautiful than having a bird in a cage. Enjoying the wildness of it. So beautiful. Let's get this up for the birds. This arbor sure has been nice. Look at that. This suet is pretty well eaten, but we're going to let that one stay. This one is completely empty, and so are the other two. I'm only going to put out two right now. I'm going to put one, since one is here, I'm going to put one over there and one on the other side. This woodpecker treat, so I'm going to put this closest to where the woodpeckers live. That's where the woodpeckers live. You can see the hole, and there's a couple holes on the other side too, and I don't want to get too close to it because I want them to continue nesting in there for next season. So I'm leaving that there. Those were two trees that we had to have taken down during a storm or right after a storm, but I told my husband leave the stumps nice and tall so that we can have wildlife. And look, wildlife has moved in. My crazy jungle garden is definitely habitat for many living things, not just for us, but for everything. In the background, you can see my crazy wild mess. There's a lot of things in there that I'm going to be repotting in the spring. Some things I'm just going to be reclaiming the soil. But I do have some rhubarb over here somewhere. Oh, wait there. That's going to be my rhubarb right there. It's huge. So I'll probably divide that one. But I'm going to go ahead and refill this with the woodpecker treat. See, there's a lot of different kinds of foods in there. And I know the prices are going up on these. You can still get them for less than $2. I used to get them for like $1.30, $1.40. They are, sometimes you can find them for that, but now they're going up maybe $1.50, $1.60. If they're more expensive than that, you need to keep your eyes open. I think I got these from Walmart, but you can also buy them online. Sometimes buying online or in the store, one of them could be cheaper than the other, so double check if you care. And we'll put it into that. I like to spread out the suet around the yard so that they have to forage. You don't want to have it all in the same spot or always in the same spot. So even if you have like 3 or 4 of these, you don't have to always have the same ones full. You might only have one at a time and then just kind of move it around the property. I don't like to waste these. Rinse them out with hot water and soap, and these go great underneath houseplants or starts. Next up, we have some berry treats. So I like to get different kinds of feed, and you always look at the ingredients. You can see here this one actually has, it has the rendered beef suet, corn, white millet, oats, and blueberries. Okay, and if you have allergies, look at them first because I don't want anyone to get sick feeding your birds. But putting this out next so they have variety in their diets. I like to put the suet out in front so that people in the neighborhood can enjoy them, and also so the birds are not around the dogs. I don't want them to get hurt, and I don't want them to build their nests where animals can harm them later on. So I don't want them to get into bad habits. And hear all the bird song in the background. Tweet, tweet. Let me see if we can zoom in on this little guy. He's making a pretty song. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Where are you? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I have to zoom out so I can see where he went. Look, they found it already. The little goldfinch just flew off, but hopefully it comes back so we can take a good look at it. They're getting really used to me being out here. They almost don't even fly away when I come out, or if they do, they come back while I'm still standing around. It's pretty special. It's like being in one of those aviary enclosures, like one of those bird enclosures at like a zoo or something. But this is so much more natural. It's an open system. It's not a closed system like a bird cage or, you know, an enclosure. It's open and they can come and go if they want to. And it's really special because it's like little garden visitors that choose to be here. And like I said, you know, like if you lived in a really natural area, it'd be better for the birds to find their own food. But we live in the city and there's lots of concrete, not a lot of natural food. Most of the food for birds is at the edge of forests, like the understory, not the really tall cedars and pine trees. So it's really important that they have understory type foods available to them, whether that's planting all different kinds of berry bushes or putting out some suet blocks or some pine cone bird feeders, which are awesome. But you have to be careful now if you're using peanut butter. Like what I usually do is I lather peanut butter on a pine cone and I tie it up in a tree or something. Those are beautiful. They work just so fabulous. So easy, messy, you know, yeah, true. It's messy, but it's cheap, you know, just buy a big bag of birdseed, take a cup of it out, put it on a plate or a tray, roll your peanut butter coated pine cone through it. And I like to do the tie it off first, but that way it's easier to put a string on it or something to tie it up into a tree. You can actually just leave them out too. It doesn't have to be up in a tree. There are some birds that like to be on the ground. So you could leave a couple little, like, it's almost like they sell suet balls. So you can make your own little suet ball using a pine cone, roll it in peanut butter and birdseed, and then just leave it on the ground here and there. Now, would it attract rodents? Possibly, so don't do it too much, too often, you know. If you want visitors in your garden, like I do. And there's another one right there. Oh, flew away. Oops. I hope you've enjoyed helping me feed the birds in the garden this morning. It's super snowy and cold. They're out looking for food, and so it was such a pleasure to go out there and see them eating. There's something about watching things eat. I mean, it's weird, right? But like if you go to like a zoo or aquarium, you know, they have those special times where they have like the feedings, and then, you know, they'll feed the krill or they'll feed the little bits of, you know, chum or something to the fish and stuff. And then you'll go over and you'll like watch. There's something about watching animals eat in nature. It's really interesting. And when you have helped to provide that for them, there's something really encouraging and uplifting. Like you feel like you've done something good. All right, everybody, be good, be sweet. Go garden if you want to eat, and I'll see you next time.